Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. With the new DLC out, things are in flux, still trying to figure out the meta, and I drew a Greenskin opponent and I decided to bring the hopefully improved Warriors of Chaos. And just in a second here, I usually cut out during this part, so I'm going to tell you the map. Okay, so let's look at my build here first. I went with an off-center build with 2 Chosen with great weapons, 1 Chaos Warrior with great weapons to the one side. I brought 3 of the new aspiring champions. They look too good not to play with. I mean, check these guys out. Look at that. That's nasty. Like them a lot. I also brought 1, 2, 3 Forsaken units, 2 Chaos Warriors with halberds, Kolek Suneater, who's also got a little bit of a buff this patch. His armor got better, and a Chaos Sorcerer of Fire. Now looking at my opponent, he forward deployed the Deaf Creepers. Cool name, cool unit. He has a Hammer of Gork, which is the Goblin Rock Lobber Regiment of Renown. The Warlord's Boys, some Night Goblins, Nasty Skulkers, Orc Boys, another Orc Boy. He ranked that one up. He's got 2 Black Orcs plus the Crimson Killers. Very cool unit. He's got, I believe, 2 Goblin Big Bosses. Maybe just 1. He's got Squig Herd, the Broken Tusk Mob. He brought everything. The Moon Howlers. He's got a Night Goblin Shaman and a Night Goblin War Boss. So lots of new stuff on his side, and I brought the aspiring champions as far as new, plus the improved Kolek Suneater. So let's see how this goes. First off, I didn't expect him to deploy to the left here on this hill, but I should have saw that coming. So as you can see, I'm spread too far out to the right, and that is going to create an issue for me because I go to attack immediately because he's got these little archer creeps and he's got the Hammer of Gork. So I need to close the distance fast, but the distance from here to there is much shorter than from here to there. Something to do with math or geometry. Don't trust me on that, but yeah, so that's gonna happen. But we got all of our new guys. They're fired up. They got their shields in the air. They're ready to go. Little charge action happening. I pull back Kolek because I don't want him to get targeted and missiled a bunch and stuff like that. As a large unit, he's very vulnerable to that sort of thing, and he's far too important to my army to let him go out like that. So we continue to move forward. Looks like my Forsaken, who are quite quick, are getting out in front of the rest of the army. But hey, do they look worried? I don't think they look worried. I think they look fired up and ready to go. Little Obama quote there for you. So as you can see, the left side of my line is starting to engage first. Going to try to get a good charge coming in here. For example, here's the Forsaken about to crash into these Orc Boys. Bang, that begins. Then we've got more Forsaken pouring in, and then following them is the aspiring champions. And right now I'm holding back Kolek and the Chaos Sorcerer of Fire, but that won't stop me from casting Cascading Fire Cloak because he's getting a good focus in on these 2 units, and I want to make them last as long as possible and do as much damage as they can. So in comes the aspiring champions. A very interesting unit. Only 12 men in the unit, but they seem to do AoE damage when they swing, much more like a hero, and they do in fact seem to be able to stand up against similar priced infantry regardless of their size. So I have Kolek Suneater here whipping up on the Night Goblin Shaman. I hate the buffs that thing has. They're very good. Over here you can see the Forsaken got broke. The halberds come in to hold them at bay while I overload here on the right side. So I've got lots of extra units here, and he's got extra over here, and we'll just have to see who gets the better of it. So Kolek's already scared the crap out of the Night Goblin Shaman, so he's backing off. Kolek's going to take swings at the different infantry here, just getting into the side and the flank to do extra damage. And he's really my micro focus in this battle just because he's so nasty, and I wanted to see how he would do with the buffs to his armor, and I don't know if there was anything else. I think it was just armor and I think 100 health, but definitely interesting. So he starts to get a little surrounded there, so I pull him back. Meanwhile, again, my left breaks, but my right is well overloaded. We've got some squigs in here fighting against my men. I don't think they're able to eat a Chaos Warrior. I think it's a little big for them. They love to chow down on dwarfs, though. And Gobla is able to eat humans. I've seen him do that, so that's pretty nasty, too. Look at Kolek just doing his thing, swinging at anybody who comes anywhere near him, which it's hard to not be near him because he's so freaking huge. And I continue to keep using the Flaming Sword and Cascading Fire Cloak, and then I'm using Kolek's abilities every chance I get as well. Now over on the left, I'm able to recommit these Forsaken. I'm just trying to hold things down while I wear him out on the right. Now, I don't know if it was a change or it just seems this way, but I've noticed it seems like battles are lasting longer. I've only fought a few, but they seem to last longer, so I don't know if that's just how things have gone for me, or if they have in fact made some sort of a change to that effect. Because as you can see, this battle on the right, nobody has fled, and it's been going on for quite some time, including having Kolek come in and make a bloody mess every chance he gets. The Chaos Sorcerer, I've still been able to keep him safe, a little bit behind the line, but not too far away. And I believe, here comes the lightning from Kolek's Sunny there, I believe. No, am I wrong? I thought that's what it was casting. It's hard to tell sometimes. So on the right, the fight goes on. On the left, he's definitely won because my last Chaos Warrior here is wavering. So I brought Kolek over to do some damage and whatnot, but I wasn't able to. I'm not going to fully commit to all this. He's got way too many things going on, and I want to keep Kolek kind of at the core of my army. Also, with how small Chaos armies tend to be, if you're using the Fire Wizard, which you're almost always going to, or the Fire Sorcerer, you want to stay close together. That way the buffs affect as many of your men as possible, and at this point it would affect all of mine. So let's take a look at how things are looking. I have 183 men left, and it looks like he has just shy of double. But, Chaos is all about quality. And I also am really beginning to believe they're all about infantry. How's that for some blinding lightning? Got some itchy nuisance going down. Let's see if we have anything up. Yep, Gork will fix it. So lots of buffs and debuffs being thrown around on both sides. A true bloodletting too. Not a lot of people fleeing, just a lot of people dying. At this point I decided to go after his Goblin War Boss. He's not as well protected now, as you can see. There's not as many men surrounded around him, and he's going to run, so he gets scared by Kolek pretty quickly. And so I'm going to decide to have the Chaos Sorcerer chase him for a while, but he recovers quickly, so that's not going to work. So Kolek is going to go over and pay the Shaman another visit, and clunks him over the head, and that's enough to scare him. And the Night Goblin here, I get a kick out of the way these things hop. It's just, the squig is hilarious. I think it's the best thing they could have added. Just too much. They're useful, don't get me wrong, but they're hilarious to watch. So again, I was chasing off his Night Goblin, but I decided I need to go back and get in the thick of this because it's still pretty evenly matched, although things are shifting in my favor. And again, I want to get things centralized here. So we're going in here to fight, and I believe I'm going to have Kolek cast Lightning one more time here on the Deaf Creepers, because that is one of my favorite abilities. So his Night Goblin War Boss has come back, so I start sending everything towards him. At this point, fully believing if I break him, I break their army. Yep, every time I see Kolek pause like that, I know something's going down. Looks like they're paying attention. They get out of the way, and the lightning's no good. But it's not going to save the Greenskins, as once their boss breaks, they break. So first of all, I'd like to say good game to my opponent, Brutus. It was definitely a fun battle and pretty evenly matched, I'd say. To take a look at the tail of the tape, the aspiring champions did well for their price tag, and also their survivability was pretty impressive. The Forsaken did okay. So did the Chaos Warrior with a great weapon. The hero was definitely this Chosen with great weapons. The other one did not do as well, and the Chaos Warriors with halberds were fine. The Chaos Sorcerer used every bit of Winds of Magic he had, buffing, so he did a great job and still managed 15 kills. And Kolek Sun Eater, though, was definitely the star of the show, 120 kills. So that was pretty fantastic. Looking at my opponent's army, there's not much that jumps out except for this black orc unit. It looks like they had a very similar day to these Chosen. His nasty Skulker did quite well. His Crimson Killers, 76 kills. Very good. And this is an amazing unit. If you haven't checked it out, do. They dual wield giant weapons. I mean, these guys are the nastiest of the nasty. It's the closest thing as we have to immortals in the game. But the cavalry did not do well. The Squig Herd got beat up pretty quick. And the Hammer of Gork just wasn't able to get enough damage down to really pay for itself. I would say the same of the Goblin Big Boss. So overall, a very close game, a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to showing you a lot of the new units and the new armies I come up with these new units. I've really focused on Chaos first because I figured everybody else is going to be playing the Greenskins and the Dwarfs, and so far that I appear to be exactly correct on that. So anyways, until the next time, this is the Magnus, and I'll see you on the ladder.